I wanted to ask you what your thoughts are on Hong Kong's future, and how you, what do you believe will take Hong Kong to the next level?
If you look at the history between Hong Kong and China's cooperation, that has been the modus operandi. Because, for instance, 1978, when China first opened, Hong Kong was the first one to have gone in with capital and technology and know-how. Now, the technology and know-how that we brought in probably was not state-of-the-art relative to, say, the technology in some of the Western markets. But that was good for China because at that point of their development, state-of-the-art technology probably wouldn't have been that useful. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we played a very good role, and we clearly did a good job. Mm-hmm. And then 1993, as you all know, we persuaded Zhurongji to let the Chinese companies come to Hong Kong to raise capital because they needed capital to reform the state-owned enterprises. And not just that, they needed market discipline to force through proper governance of the companies. And the best way to do it is to subject the companies to market discipline. But at that time, the Chinese securities markets were just formed. They're fledgling, they're very small. And of course, they didn't have the branding or the reputation to attract international capital on those markets. So they needed an international market which already enjoyed international recognition and trust to package the companies, to tap capital. So then came Hong Kong. So that has been probably one of the most successful experiments in the history of financial markets, the exchange. Today, we're still enjoying the benefits of that. But then, of course, that also is tapering because as the Shanghai and Shenzhen markets come of strength, some of the Chinese companies don't have to come to Hong Kong. And also, as I have always said, the thing about companies is that once they are listed, you won't have them anymore in the sense that there won't be a second listing of the same company, right? So as the quality companies continue to come to market, there will come a day when there won't be any more, right? So that model also was tapering. And then in 2003, because we had CIPA, we managed to persuade the Chinese government to allow the Chinese financial intermediaries to come to Hong Kong. So that was then a reinvention of the relationship because we brought them to Hong Kong and we used the Hong Kong market to train up these financial intermediaries because eventually they will be big, and today they are. Mm. And then in the year 2008, 2009, when I first went up there and suggested that they give us directly a renminbi Q fee, I saw that renminbi internationalization was clearly on the cards and it would happen. So for Hong Kong to benefit, we needed to be able to create offshore renminbi products because people offshore would not be willing to hold the currency unless you have renminbi assets for them to invest in. So I looked at what they had and they had the Q fee. So, I mean, all you had to do was to marry the Q fee with the renminbi, and then therefore you would be able to use Q fee as an instrument to push renminbi internationalization. So the next reinvention was the offshore renminbi center, which of course brings us to where we are today, which is the superconnector and the experimental ground. But these are also waning. So we need to find a new model to supplement.
Can I ask what your thoughts are on where we will find, where Hong Kong will find a new engine?
Back in February when I talked at the Hong Kong SI talk, I suggested that we should look deeper into the One Belt, One Road. At that time, it wasn't a hot topic in Hong Kong yet because I think because Hong Kong was still very much involved in its own development in terms of being the offshore center and being the experimental ground and everything else. And so we didn't pay a lot of attention to what was going on in China with the One Belt, One Road initiatives. But after the chief executive himself raised that topic in April at the Boao Forum. So Hong Kong is now very much into this thing. And I think Hong Kong actually has a very good has very good prospects in terms of becoming like a financial hub for the entire One Belt, One Road region. And if we could clinch that, I think that would be very good for Hong Kong, and sky's the limit.